What's up, Sucka? We're back once again. We're live. I got a special guest for y'all now. My boy Cliff Simmons. Give a shout out to Cliff.
What's going down, big baby? It's about time, bro.
No shit. Now, Cliff, y'all don't know Cliff. Me and Cliff started doing comedy at the same time about 15, 16 years ago now.
Yep.
We were both in the contest at LOL right when it opened up. The Cthulhu contest that they had, and who was filming it? Spectrum was filming it. They filmed us in the green room. Remember, Roy was interviewing us in the green room before we went up.
Was it Spectrum? No, I think it was like Time
Warner. It was Time Warner.
Time Warner?
Yeah, it was Time Warner.
That's basically Spectrum.
Yeah, and I just remember being on there. Oh man, we're gonna be on TV. Did that thing ever come out on anything?
It was on demand.
It was?
It wasn't. It didn't actually air, but it was like you had to go to it.
But did you ever see it?
Mm-mm.
No, neither did I. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was about 16 years ago, man. So how you doing, dude?
I've been doing good, and just on the grind. I ain't gonna lie. Back then, I was jealous of you.
Back then, see, damn, I don't know what happened, dude.
I was jealous.
I guess I'm failing because he's not jealous of me anymore.
Yeah.
Why were you jealous of me?
Because Vance Bradford took you on the road, and you know what I'm saying. You went straight to doing big shows, like right off the bat.
Yeah,
after that.
He took me on the road and introduced, because I won third place in that contest.
Yeah.
I won third place, and he took me on the road with Juan Villarreal the next day.
And you know, Juan, you know what I'm saying? I grew up watching Juan on TV, and like, I'm going to keep it real. You didn't even know who Juan was.
I didn't even know who Juan was.
I was like, he doesn't even know who Juan was. That's my dream. He's living my dream.
Yeah, dude. My bad, dude. And I learned. Now I'm living the nightmare. now I know who Juan is. You could have him, bro. Like, you could. Shout out to Juan Villarreal, but
Comic View, man.
Yeah. Juan. Those who don't know, Juan Villarreal is he's a legend in comedy. He was I think the only Mexican to do Comic View.
And he was from Texas, so it was like it was like, oh man, he's from Texas.
He's
just
from
like
Houston.
Me.
He did it 11 times.
Wow.
He's the only one to do it 11 times, and they're bringing it back. You know that, right?
Yeah, Kevin Hart brought it or
something. And Juan, I think, is, I don't know if they called him or he said, man, I'm hoping they give him a call again. But yeah, Juan, I ended up meeting Juan after that and going on the road with him. But yeah, I remember that contest. I was so nervous, dude. Okay, well, before I forget, I saw you just recently headlined the LOL.
Headline the
LOL.
300 people.
You had 300?
Yeah, during an ice storm.
That's right.
So it probably might have been more than 300.
It was a Sunday night.
Some people probably canceled, but they bought tickets.
But it was a Sunday night?
Sunday night, right before Martin Luther King Day.
And it was football on, playoffs too, right?
Oh, and it was a playoff. Yeah.
Who were you going up against? What playoff game was on that night? I know you know.
Dang, I don't even know.
Really? Yeah, that's what
might have been the Cowboys. It was the Cowboys.
But Cowboys were done by, what time was the show, at 7:30?
It was at 7 o'clock exactly.
So football was just ended. Like, people were scrambling, going, if they got all buzzed out or their team lost, I ain't going nowhere. You know, that kind of shit.
People were saying that there was ice on the road.
Damn.
I don't think there was ice on the road.
Did you have 300 that showed up, or you sold 300 tickets?
300 people that showed up.
Oh, that's good. Then.
So that's what I'm saying. Some people didn't show up because of the weather. But I don't do that whole, I sold out. Like,
did you do a lot of ticket sales the day of, or no, there wasn't that many the day of?
I had a lot of pre-sales. I think I had 50 people buy tickets the day of.
50? That's still good. Because some people just have 50 people, period, you know? So that's good to have 50 the day of.
And then what I like to bank on, people who had Monday off the next day. So
because Martin Luther King.
You think about it, it's almost like,
and they canceled the march.
Yeah,
it was
the march
cold.
didn't get canceled until I think
that night or something, right?
Like early that morning.
Oh yeah, you know, black people weren't about to be out there marching in that cold ass shit, dude. And if they did, they were gonna be late. Then a motherfucker to that one.
I know that was gonna be my first time going to the march since I was a kid, because I started doing research on Martin Luther King, and
he died, right?
Yeah, he
did
die, but I thought he died because he had a dream. He didn't die because he had a dream. He died because he woke up. The "I have a dream" speech was said several years before he died.
He didn't make that speech and then they killed him?
Nah, they said
that's what they make it seem like.
That's
right?
how they make it seem, right? 11 months before he died, he said, "I feel like I have integrated my people into a burning house. My dream has became a nightmare."
He said that?
Yeah, he said that. And he started getting closer to Malcolm. And so he didn't die because he had a dream. He died because he woke up.
But he did get assassinated at a speech, right?
No, at his hotel.
Oh, he got assassinated at a hotel?
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. That's what
they make it seem like, that it was right after some big speech.
And they make it seem like
fuck that shit.
He got shot at his hotel, but he actually died at the hospital. Like, they killed him at the hospital.
And then they canceled the march, dude, because of little coldness. Look at y'all, bro. Y'all should be upset, dude.
I know, right?
You should be, I don't know what to call you. I don't want to sound like a racist here, but your people should be upset and up in arms. I know if there was a Gilbert Grape or a Cesar Chavez march that was about to get canceled because of a little rain, a little breeze and a little bit of rain, I would have been like, we're getting out there and drinking wine and eating grapes or whatever.
I don't think it was so much the cold. It's been cold for years. I think it's just the ice on the road. Safety.
Hey. The ice. Yeah, well. Yeah,
safety.
You think it was a safety issue? It was it was just that black people were ready to cancel that shit because it was cold.
Yeah. I was gonna go. I was ready to do 19-degree weather, to be honest with you.
I don't think you were, Cliff. I think after about 20 feet of marching, you would have been like, this is some bullshit. We need to stop this.
I was going to go because I was
oppressing black people. George Floyd wouldn't want us to do this. You think George Floyd liked cold weather? I don't think so.
No, but he lived in Minnesota, I guess. But
they did kill him in Minnesota.
Man, I'm going to be 100 with you. Like, I think I was going to go just off the sacrifice what it had been. You know what I'm saying? For what my people went through, and really,
what'd your people go through to get to the march?
Like just the years of oppression and the Jim Crow laws. Oh yeah. To be honest with you, like the civil rights movement, like before we had integration, we were actually thriving. We were policing our own selves. We had our own schools. We had business. We had the Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You think it was better that way?
Black Wall Street. I will say
Black Wall Street.
After the civil rights movement, that's when things went downhill for us. And how can I say that? Is in right after the civil rights movement, that's when all that Section 8 stuff started. And so what that did was
it put them all together in poverty.
Put everybody. Yeah, we went. That's when the ghetto. That's when you started hearing about us in the ghettos, and it removed the black men out of the home.
But what about the people on Black Wall Street? Were they like making a shitload of money on Black Wall? Where was Black Wall Street?
It was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, no wonder. What the fuck do you put? That ain't shit. Who wants to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
No, but it was thriving. Like it was like
thriving?
It was thriving.
It really?
Yeah.
For Tulsa, you know what thriving for Tulsa is? Someone sold a bale of hay. You know.
You haven't heard about the Oklahoma bombing?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. The Oklahoma bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Timothy McVeigh.
Oh shoot. Nah. I thought you was joking the whole time.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Black Wall Street.
Oh, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, he's mad at you. You just tried to molest my dog.
Yeah, well, I was just making sure I was right. Yeah.
Oh, you were going to give me some misinformation.
The Tulsa Race Massacre. The Tulsa Race Massacre, also known as the Tulsa Race Riot of the Black Wall Street Massacre. It was in 1921. Like, that's what I'm saying. We were like, what they don't show you is like black people were
thriving.
Like, we were thriving. Like right after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes.
We were thriving.
The Emancipation Proclamation was in the 1920s?
Like after let's see what Emancipation.
I thought the Emancipation Proclamation was before that.
When did it end?
The Emancipation Proclamation was Abe Lincoln.
No,
Yeah, that was Abraham Lincoln that did that. See, that's how late they were.
it ended in 1863, and so 1921 was we were thriving around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the civil rights movement, you started having like the whole Section 8. So you couldn't have you couldn't have a man in the home. If you had a man in the home, you lost your benefits. And so from there,
Who lost their benefits? Only black people?
Like just anybody because what Martin Luther King he also stood for was for the disadvantaged. That's also what I wasn't like taught. Like he wasn't just for black people. He was for Mexicans, Native Americans, black people,
anyone that's being oppressed. He felt.
Yeah,
you didn't have to be black to be oppressed.
Yeah. They don't really. I wasn't taught
because that's being a racist himself. If he just saw it was only just fuck everyone else, step over that starving Mexican or whatever.
And he had a radical side. See, the only side that we were taught, he was all about nonviolence.
But they always have a radical side when you're that active. If you're that much of an activist.
He was getting closer to Malcolm.
Yeah, even religion gets radicalized. It could, no matter if you think you're doing it for God, you'll fight and kill in God's name. Though. You know what I mean? It always gets radicalized when you're that. Yeah, when you're that much of an activist. Hey.
Yeah.
You had your podcast. But now, you know what I mean? So of course, yeah.
No, but I was gonna go and freeze my ass off but just off the strength of what people went through.
How long of a march is it?
It's from Martin Luther King, the Boys and Girls Club off of Martin Luther King and it's from Eastwood. I don't know if you know where Eastwood is.
No.
Damn.
Clint?
Eastwood to like the David Scott YMCA.
Pittman, but what is it? Park. So it's a couple of miles?
Yeah, it's just a couple of miles.
Dude, did you know that San Antonio has the largest Martin Luther King march in the nation?
Yes.
You know who's only there behind? Atlanta.
Wow. And they got more black people.
In Atlanta, yeah, is black. Black motherfuckers ain't bullshitting over there. Like, and how does San Antonio? That's weird. It's San Antonio. Because where are the brothers hiding? Are they on the east side?
We used to mainly be on the east side, but I think we're more on the northeast side now.
Northeast?
Because the east side is now gentrified. It looks like they got $500,000.
A lot of Mexicans and whites out there now?
Mexicans, blacks, and whites.
But have the whites bought into it yet?
A lot.
Have
There's
they?
Starbucks down there. They got the Pearl.
That's when they did it. Once they put a Starbucks, the white people said, well, maybe it's not so bad. But and they built that new skate park. Have you seen it at the Hay Street Bridge?
I haven't. I need to go by
there. Yeah, there's a new skate park at the Hay Street Bridge.
Yeah.
That's just I don't even know if it's completely finished, but they've just been finishing up, and that's going to bring a lot of people to the area over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get out there. And that whole area is going to be it's going to flip.
Yeah.
It's going to flip if someone opens up a business out there now and gets to jump early. If you could have some property out there, do something in about 10 years, it's going to be.
When I graduated high school, those houses were $100,000, man.
Yeah, well, when I graduated high school, those houses were $50,000.
Yeah, they're crack houses and shit.
Well, you know, some of it has turned into that. And if you know what it's turning like now, like a lot of these neighborhoods this was a rich neighborhood right here that I'm in. The children of the people who, they're down on the floor. You couldn't grab him yourself? You scared of the black dude? I thought you knew him. See, that's why. All right, sucker. Yeah. All right, Matt. What was I saying? Damn, I was just about to finish in the fucking JR.
You edit that or what?
Huh? Oh, yeah, that weed sucks. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Speedy.
How old is Speedy?
Yeah, Speedy's getting old, man. Speedy's 11 years old. He's become a grouch in his old age, and he doesn't know. Calm down over there. He doesn't know JR, really. A lot of that area. No, what I was saying is a lot of those places, the rich families that own them now have kind of turned them over to their children. Now you see these houses that were beautiful, nice houses growing up. As I was a kid, and you saw the parents pass away, and the kids that are like my age inherit the houses, and that's when you see either that house is going to survive if that kid's become successful, or he's going to let that house run into shit.
Yeah,
because he got it for free.
Or they put it up for rent.
Well, then if they put it for rent, well, then he's probably going to take care of it. Because there's some kind of income or something being done. It's generating some kind of money. But with the people that don't have the money to keep the upkeep, there's no mortgage. So they're just living in it. And it's just falling apart as they live there.
Damn.
And then they're going to die. It's going to go to the grandkids. And now it's caca. Either they spend the money to fix it up, or it's just going to fall apart. And you see a lot of that now in my generation. And you go through these neighborhoods, and you're like, I remember this house growing up was so badass. And yeah, the people died, and now Jimmy's got the house. What happened with Jimmy? Jimmy's
on meth.
Yeah, Jimmy's on meth. He don't do that. And you're like,
he has a trust fund, so he's been able to pay all the taxes every year.
No, Jimmy don't even have a trust fund. Jimmy's fucking living on the life insurance money, which was $100,000, and he's smoking it up, and the privacy fence is rotting, and the roof is caving in, and they're just paying the bills and staying there, and that house is about to be condemned, sooner than later. It's sad to see that. It's sad to see that. This house isn't that, but this is an inheritance house. But and I do a lot of upkeep on it. But I've been here since like 2004.
But you put it up for rent at one time, no?
Well, I was renting it out when I bought that other house when I was in a relationship. So yeah, we bought that other house, and I was renting it out to a tattoo artist buddy of mine, and luckily I didn't sell it.
Is that like when you do something? I'm just asking for educational. Was it mainly just to keep the taxes going, or was it a nice extra income when you weren't
it was
living
nice
here?
Extra income, but you don't want to have just a vacant house just sitting here, and this shit starts to. It's like leave your car just parked there in the driveway forever, just because you went and bought another one. All of a sudden, that car is going to start falling apart. It doesn't start then. If you don't have someone living here turning on the lights, making sure everything's working as you go to the water, and because then one day you'll come in and turn on the water and flush the toilet and everything's like, what happened? Well, no one's been here for 2 years. The fuck, you just no maintenance. So yeah, I love having someone, and then the income, of course, and luckily this house is paid off. So yeah, but I'm glad I didn't sell it. I'm glad I didn't sell it. But anyway, back to where are you living at? You're out there.
I bought a house off of 90 and 1604. It's a new build, new community.
90 and 1604.
I'm 5 minutes from Southwest, 5 minutes from SeaWorld. I'm right next to Alamo Ranch. I'm walking distance to Dominguez.
Why would you want to walk to Dominguez?
I don't know.
Yeah, my son was there. I used to drive over there on Sunday mornings all the time and go visit him. And every time I'd go over there, I'd be like, I can't believe I'm standing here in line waiting to get searched to go into a fucking prison.
Oh, yeah, because
I was in prison for 6 years, and I couldn't wait to get the fuck out. And now I'm standing in line like a dumbass to go in there. But I haven't. My son's locked up again right now, but I haven't gone. He's not in prison, but he's in jail. But he hasn't called me, so I don't have to go worry about visiting him. And if he wants to be, if he's ashamed for the trouble he got into, well then good.
Yeah,
maybe he'll stop doing it.
I hear that.
So, but you're living all the way out there in Marbach in 90?
Pretty much, yeah. 90 and 1604.
Who lives with you out there?
Me and my daughter, and I got 2 Siberian Huskies.
Shoot, big dogs, huh?
Yes, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I really don't. I love them. They're one boy, one girl.
What do you mean you don't know what you're doing?
Man.
With the dogs or in general, living out there?
With my dogs. They rough.
Are they big already?
They already big. They
like how much do they weigh? Like 50, 60, 70,
about
80?
50 pounds each.
They're going to get bigger then.
And yeah,
those dogs get big.
Yeah, they were born
Siberia.
in June. They were born in June.
Just this past June?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not big. They're still puppies. You're saying they're big already, dude. They're not even a year old. When they're like 3-4 years old, then you'll be like, yeah, they're big already. They're full. They're adults. They're not even. They're puppies.
I
Those
love
things
them.
are going to be 100 pounds.
They treat me like a god, but
they're dangerous.
They act like kids, man.
Yeah, they're like look at Speedy. He's my baby. Like he sleeps in the bed with me. He wakes me up at night to let him out, and I got to come over here and lay down on the sofa.
He don't seem like he a headache.
He's not a headache, dude, but he's a life that I have to take care. He's like a baby where he's like having a toddler that knows enough to come tell me I need to go outside. I need to go potty. I'm hungry.
Mentally, they have helped me because my kids can now do for themselves.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 9, but she can cook. She can clean herself. You know what I mean? Like,
But she lives with you full time?
She lives with me full time.
Okay.
She doesn't really need me to do for her. She just needs me to take her to school, pick her up, pay her bills.
At 9, she's self-sufficient, huh?
Yes, I'm telling you.
If you can just teach her to drive, it'd be over,
She takes care
huh?
of me. You know what I'm saying?
If you could get a 9-year-old to drive, it's over. You're done.
Pretty much. That's the only thing.
She's raised.
So they give me, and my son is already doing for himself.
How old's your son?
He's 16.
Okay.
So the dogs, I have to do the whole responsibility of walking them because then they have too much energy. I got to take them outside for a restroom.
You didn't know that? Have you never owned a dog?
But sometimes they want to wake up and just move around in the cage.
You didn't know that? So have you never owned a dog? They have personalities, man. They're people. They're like people.
They're actually worse than having kids because with kids, at least I can take them with me to other places. I can't take the dogs everywhere.
You can almost nowadays. You can almost. Dogs are welcome, but you have 2 of them now.
Yeah.
2 big old dogs that if you don't get those dogs accustomed to being around other people and dogs in public, you might not ever want to take them out because then they're big. They could just yank right out of you, pull your chair, you put them on.
Yeah.
People will put them on their chair leg, and that thing just sees a little dog like my dog. If I'm there with my dog and that dog looks at it and just decides to take off at it, you're gonna have a hard time stopping it if you weren't ready for that.
Oh yeah, we go there. We go to Pups and Pals or something like that. It's off of
Is it like
a beer place by Eisenhower. I think.
There's that one. What's that?
McAllister Park area.
Yeah, there's that one that we went out there for Justin Governor when he did that dog thing, Hops and Hounds.
It might have been that. Yeah.
You just made up one, Pups and Pot, or Puppies and Pot. What'd you call it, dude?
Pups and Pals.
Weed and Weenie Dogs, or what are you calling it, dude?
Let me see where did I get that from. Pups and Pals. Yeah, it's called Pups and Pals Bar and Grill.
I've never.
It's off of Jones Maltzberger. And
well, see, there's a lot of dog friendly places now, and you know what? People are scared to tell you not to bring your dog into places. They don't even want the Karen argument, dude.
Yeah,
and it's kind of
sued. This is my emotional support animal.
But it doesn't matter. I don't think they can sue you. Just for instance, my tattoo shop. People can walk in there with their dog wearing a support animal vest, and I could tell them your dog can't be in here for health reasons. My discretion. I'm a personal owner of this business. I don't want dog hair to get into someone's tattoo. Whether it's your personal support dog or not, that's great. I support you being supported by that dog. But for health reasons, you wouldn't want someone else's dog hair to get in your tattoo. And so I'm going to respect that as more of a health issue than if your emotions are going to be that disrupted during that period of wait where you couldn't sit 2 hours to get a tattoo, well, then maybe I'm not the shop for you. You know? For real.
You said that for real, too.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I love my dog. I'd love to be able to take my dog anywhere, but for that situation, you don't want your dog in a hospital room with you.
Yeah.
You know, if you were going to have surgery and, but I need it for the support. No, this is a fucking sterile environment. We can't, which a tattoo shop is. So there is places but there's people that are scared to have that argument.
That's funny. No, but yeah, I got the dogs because I told my daughter the reason why we don't own a dog is because we lived in an apartment. And so now we have a house. Yeah.
No excuses.
But I'm loving the house. It's my new club. I stopped going to clubs because
you just want to be at home.
I started to appreciate, even like when I first bought it, I stayed busy because we do entertainment. I work a job. Mm-hmm. and I just got a lot going on, and I was hardly ever home. But I took some time off from work, and I was like, wow, I bought a house. This is nice. Like 6 months after buying the house.
You finally would go home to enjoy it?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I can have all the liquor I want here.
Yeah, look.
I can have all the food that I want. I can, the money that I spend when we go out, I can just take that money and invest it back into my house.
Yeah.
I can create a whole darts thing and I keep it, and it sounds silly, but it adds value to my house.
Dude, I love being at home now.
I can call a lady friend over. I don't have to worry about, I can bring as many ladies friends over. You know what I mean? I'm at the club. I'm gonna win all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the host at your club. Yeah, dude, like I don't like you could decorate it how you want, change it up every time. Like I'll get up and go into my skateboard room and look at it, come out here and fuck with my Harley. I'm gonna wait till I get my 100-inch screen up. I'm gonna put another TV right here.
Yeah.
My bar's gonna be popping, it's gonna be lit up. I'm gonna crown mode the living room. I'm gonna have a badass TV and shit set up outside. It's gonna be fucking dope. It's gonna be like a club, and I'm not gonna want to go nowhere. And I get it completely.
I will say this: my house is a new build. I've always wanted to live in a new house like that no one else lived in, and the reason why that me and my mom, I grew up in my mom's house. My mom grew up in, so I lived in an old house my whole life. So we had to deal with old house problems. We had bad pipes.
Yeah,
we had rodents in the attic that I would hear all the time. The electricity.
Just different issues.
We always had to like repair stuff. So I was like, I want to see what it's like to live in a new house. So I'm thankful. I thank the Most High for blessing me with a house. But I will say this: an old house is winning because you can always renovate an old house. The old house comes with things that a new house doesn't come with.
I like the character of an old house.
Yes.
It's got a personality. It's got a character to it. The wood floors. You don't find like look at my wood floors, bro. You don't rarely find that. And when you do find it, they charge the shit out of you.
And then my neighbor's houses, the houses next door look the same.
They look all the same. It's cookie cutter. Who made what's the manufacturer?
Lennar Homes.
Linear.
Yeah. Lennar or Linear.
Is it Lennar?
It's Lennar.
Or Linear. Okay, Lennar.
Same shit, but yeah, Lennar.
No, it's not. It's not. Linear and Lennar are two different words.
Okay, then Lennar. Because if you look outside your house, the houses look different.
Yeah, because there was at this time
they're similar, but they all have their own little
character to them.
If I was to walk outside and leave, I don't need to know your address to come back to your house.
I wouldn't know your house again just looking at it.
You'd be like, hey, which house is yours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. But I like going into like the King William area and looking at those old houses and walking through them. Sometimes when there's estate sales, and they always have those awesome, like the hardwood floors like these that whether they've been brought out again or not, but you just know the potential's there to what they could do. And you look at it like, look at this place. They have some weird bar built into the wall that unfolds. You're like, what the hell is that? I don't know. The people who had it before built this into the wall, or the builder did it. You know, they thought this would be cool in the 50s. That's what they did. You know, it was on Archie Bunker or whatever, you know, and builders started adding stuff like just different things. And under the stairwell, there's this little room. You're like, wow,
it's a secret room.
Yeah, dude, there's just stuff like that I like about old houses. The house that I grew up in by Jefferson has stuff like that in it. It's a big 2-story, 4-bedroom.
Yeah, I've been in those.
With the guest house in the back. And my niece rents that house. But up there in one of the closets, there's a hidden room in there. When we were kids, when we played hide and seek, it was a scary room at night. But I don't know why at night. It was dark in there anyway. Just stuff like that. Like people won't even know that room is there. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I like old shit. Like my motorcycle, my Harley's a '99. Doesn't even seem like
retro.
25 years ago now. My Jeep.
Man.
I know when you think that my Jeep is an '03. 21 years ago, and it's all looks like brand new.
So is it safe to say that your Harley's a classic now?
Yeah, I think 25 years makes it a classic. I think.
Wow.
I think it does. I think 25 is classic, and then you can go apply for Harley plates. I mean, not Harley plate, classic plates. And and pay. I don't know what that does. I guess you pay less tax, but you can only put X amount of miles on it a year then, because it's a classic. It's not supposed to be a daily driver.
I never knew that.
I didn't either, but I started looking into it recently, and someone was telling me. But I shouldn't even worry about it. I was like, but my Harley, I bought that one about 8 years ago, probably a little more than 8 years ago, and I've put like 2,500 miles on it in 8 years. 2,500.
Oh, that's not a lot.
No, 2,500.
2,500.
I know
not
people
25,000.
No, 2,500 in 8 years. I know people that put 2,500 on a weekend.
That's me.
Yeah, and so I won't. My bike, I'm not gonna. I barely ride it, dude, and I've done stuff to it. I've put more money into it, customizing it out and stuff, and I just got it running again. It was just some minor stuff, but it's fucking dangerous out there, dude. It's fucking dangerous to be riding in the city on that bike. So I'm gonna put together a ride with some tattoo artist buddies of mine, and whoever has a bike to go out to the hill country. It's a
little cruise. Yeah,
go out there to the hill country and do a little cruise out there, and stop at some spots. And everyone else will probably drink. I don't drink when I ride my bike, but everyone wants to be a biker and shit like that. Nah, no thanks. No thanks. And it's too many people going. Like, what do you think about Israel Garcia, man?
Oh, that was one of my brothers in comedy.
For those of y'all who don't know, Israel Garcia was a comedian, brother of ours, who passed away recently of pancreatic cancer. Well, how old was Israel? 36?
Somewhere, 36 or 37.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He got diagnosed, about a year ago? Maybe about a year ago, got diagnosed, and it came with a vengeance and took him, man, just recently. Rest in peace, brother. That dude was a good dude. That dude was one of the good ones, man.
We definitely had our moments, and
what do you mean? What kind of moments? What, y'all made love, or what? Can you elaborate? I like details.
Damn.
But not if y'all made love. I don't want any details, but just
no. We just there's some people that you only know through stand up comedy, and we got to hang out and outside of comedy.
Yeah, y'all were friends outside of yeah.
So, and then he started in El Paso, and I remember connecting with him and Sam Butler out there, when me and you kind of started.
Because he's been doing comedy longer than us.
Yeah, maybe a couple of years longer.
Yeah, a year or two longer.
The same amount of time. And so it's been cool to come up with him, and then he moved out here, and I did. When he did tell me, I was being very positive with him, but his special was inspiring, because what would you do if you knew you had so much time left? You would operate completely different.
Well, at the same time, he didn't know he didn't have so much time left. He didn't think he was going to come and take him. He was still fighting it at that time, where he was still in the fight. Even when they did the benefit for him at LOL, did you go out there?
Yeah.
It wasn't a goodbye benefit. It was let's raise some money because he's still in the fight benefit. Even though Juan Verreal went out there and made it seem like it was a goodbye roast.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on that, dog.
I told Juan, I was like, bro, right when Juan came off, I was like, bro, this isn't a goodbye roast, bro. This is he's going to make it, hopefully.
Dog,
this is to raise money.
And not only if Juan sees this, you're still one of my,
Here, listen
idols.
to this, Juan. But I told you.
I respect him because he's one. I will say Juan is somebody who did inspire me because he was from Texas and he was on TV.
Because he's funny.
But I was just so mad at Juan. Sorry, Juan, but he did 30 minutes. Some people didn't even get to go up because of Juan.
Oh, yeah. That's
why'd you do 30 minutes? You went up first and did 30 minutes, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did do that. He's what Juan's
And
known
then you
for that.
turned it into a roast. It wasn't even a roast. It was a show.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to disrespect a legend in comedy. But I was
Con todo
mad.
respeto, Juan. But
I know you're gonna show. I know you're gonna show it to him. I love you, Juan, but I was mad at you that day.
Oh, but I wonder how.
I don't understand. Why would you do 30 minutes?
because he went first and no one because no one was stopping him. But yeah, that was interesting when he did that. I was just like, when he came out, I said, bro, this was a good.
He said, "Don't be a ghost."
Yeah, no, go to the light. Go to the light. Don't stay here and don't be dropping any the secrets. Don't be Larry Garza, right?
Oh, he said his name on the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know nothing.
No, Larry Garza is another comedian friend of ours that got cancer and passed away too, and he referenced Larry, and so that's all it was. And
he didn't say so. Juan didn't say no names on stage, did he?
No, he didn't.
He just said, "Don't be like some people."
Yeah, but I mean, Larry's in the rest in peace. Larry was another about a 20-year vet.
So you're saying he was talking? He was
just
talking about
Larry about Larry passing away too, and all that.
Spilling all the beans.
And there was some beans got spilled. I think there was some frijoles that landed on the stage here and there.
Where were some beans that got spilled?
Yeah, there was a little bit of spillage out there of the beanage. So we would have to say that, man, it sucks though, because Israel is such a good dude, man.
Nah, but I want to gonna definitely honor Israel every year. I want to do like a one bad comic award or something like that. Or
well, you could win that every year then, dude.
We
have a winner. Yeah, well, don't call it the one. Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of ironic, right? You could have the worst comedian and do the one bad comic.
One bad comic, like one bad comic where like that one comedian that's really like has really thugged it out and made it. I strongly feel that Israel was on some type of rise.
Yeah, dude, he ended up with such a perfect storm of shit to mess up this last run right before he caught cancer, because he had bought all that merch, was about to go on tour with Raymond and I think Mario, and then Raymond had a bunch of dates booked all over the place when the pandemic hit. And we went to lockdown and he had all that stuff and there was no shows. He had all that merch, he had sunk all his money, and I remember he was struggling, with all that. And then right when we were coming up, I guess, off the lockdown, and he got
Polar Bear.
But he went with Polar Bear a little bit.
Because it was
yeah, he went
wasn't it Raymond? He was on tour with Raymond. And then Raymond found his God.
Yeah, then Raymond found God.
And then during the pandemic, Polar Bear goes viral.
Yeah. Then Polar Bear got his run.
And then he got the feature with Polar Bear for like a good second.
It's not Cola Bear, unless he was doing coke. I don't know.
Cola Bear.
And he's like, but then then he went with Cola Bear for a while, and then he got cancer, and then he did his special. At least I'm glad he got to do his special.
Go hard,
but he just ended up with just a string of bad luck right there towards the end, the literal end, and he.
No, but I asked him. I was like, "Hey, is there anything that you?" Because when he told me, he was like, "Cliff, I don't think you understand. No one has like had this that has lived more than 11 months."
Oh, he said that when he was diagnosed?
Yeah. When me and him finally because I knew everybody was probably blowing him up.
Yeah.
I just kind of like.
Yeah.
I kind of pushed myself away and allowed him to reach out to me, because I'm pretty sure it was probably overwhelming.
Yeah, because I sent him
everybody
just a personal,
blowing up the text messages.
Well, I just sent him a personal message and said, "Hey, bro, I know you're going through a lot, and you got a lot of people are going to hit you up, but if you need anything, bro, I'm here for you. Give me a call." And
so I knew where. I knew
what Cliff's a piece of shit if he hasn't reached out to you.
No, I just knew where our relationship was, and so I just waited, and he was just like. And so I said, "Hey, okay, well, now that I know this, because we're having Bible study and stuff, is there anything that you want to do that you haven't been able to do? Like, do you need a threesome? Do you want to go on a
you were going to be a threesome with him?
You know what I'm saying?
You and Debo. Me and Debo decided we're going to give you that.
I was like, do you need to write a book? Like, what do you want to do? He was like, I've done everything. His main thing was
he had already done the special.
Yeah, his main thing was the special. He just, that was his goal. He had never got the opportunity to headline.
And shout out to Bart Reed for giving him the opportunity to do the comic strip, his hometown, and do that special.
He had to almost dang near die to
get that opportunity.
To get the headline the comic strip.
Tough crowd, dude. Tough crowd over there in El Paso. Yeah. Yeah, with all that immigration stuff going on, tough crowd, bro.
And so I think it was beautiful. Because it wasn't just, it also showed you don't have to be straight comedy. You can also give your testimony.
Yeah.
In your set.
A lot of people.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, a lot of people, and I probably tend to do it too a little bit, not as much, but a lot of people get real preachy. Not real people get preachy as they get more years in comedy, because now you have a message then. You do, because then at some point your comedy, yeah, you have a story to tell and be funny, but a lot of times it comes with a message. And when it comes with the message, you want them to separate that, because like usually when I'll do a little message and say like, hey man, thanks for coming out and blah, blah, and do something, a little preachy thing. But I do that at the end of my show because you want to separate that this isn't a joke. Like, now I've done the joke. This is from the heart. Let me tell you this. But some people in the middle of it do their from the heart and get a little. Everyone, Chappelle now does it. Kevin Hart does it. Carlos Mencia, I see him doing it.
So there's nothing wrong with having like
it.
some type of a message.
If you want to, there's nothing wrong. And if you don't, that's fine too. But if you do have something and it's heartfelt and meaningful and you want to say it, and that's fine. I have no problem with this, especially if you're really engaging the audience and they're all into you, that everything you say, just know that at that point when you say something kind of preachy and heartfelt, that people are going to take it to heart too. So that you are like influencing someone, that if they're really like, you see people nodding and they're in it and no one's got up and walked out, and you've been an hour into this set and everyone's laughed on every cue and all that, and then you go, hey man, let me tell y'all something. And then you got to know that what you say there could have an impact on someone. You're not just spouting nonsense out your mouth anymore. Just be aware of what you say, because don't be like, Trump is the best hero in the world, and then say something that people are going to be like, did you hear what this dude said at the end of it? He lost me right at the end. Fuck that dude. So, I mean, you do have to be aware. It sucks as comedians that we do have to be aware of almost everything we say now, because we're targets. We are definitely fucking targets out there. Now, I say some controversial shit. I know I do. I know I say stuff that I shouldn't say. They tell me all the time on the comments on the podcast, because I was saying on here, but I don't read. That's why I don't read the comments. He tells me. I don't need to be influenced by anyone telling me to change who I am. So I don't. But at the same time, I'm not trying to be out here to be offensive.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be aware. I'm not an idiot. I know. Those delusional comedians out there, those delusional people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had to I used to get caught up with what other comedians thought of me.
And you do, of course. But caught up is one thing. Think about is another.
It affected my mental health.
Yeah, definitely.
To the point where I was like, okay, I was listening and I started, you know what, maybe I need to do my jokes like this. Maybe I need to present my social media like this. And it was exhausting. And one day I just said, fuck it. I had a mental breakdown, bro.
How long ago was that?
This was last year, bro.
Oh, so you're 14 years in.
Oh, well, I've had other issues over the years.
Dialogue.
Oh, no, I've had other issues over the years.
Oh, I know that, but this issue. It became a real issue to you where you had a mental breakdown over it.
I had a mental breakdown. Like, I'm talking about, had to go get therapy and shit and take medicine.
I think you would have more of a mental breakdown over trying to clean up Marbach. That shit's got to be frustrating than a motherfucker. Because I go to Marbach every weekend, and that motherfucker will not stay clean.
Oh, man. Let me tell you about that. I pick up needles, man. The reason why I have it, me and my friend Matthew Skinner, he has a little bit more compassion. Because some of those people are homeless. My thing was, I was just like, man, can they just move that to a whole nother area? Because my thing is, kids walk to school that way. And it's a bunch of needles. It's not like they're homeless. They're, and the reason how I know that a lot of them are not homeless, my uncle is one of them. He's there. He has a house.
He just hangs out and then goes.
Yes, he has a room
Right.
at my mom's house. He doesn't go to my mom's house.
Well, you know what?
What he does is he stays there and he looks like he's homeless.
For as long as he can, because he can do that and no one's gonna judge him shooting up over there. He can hang. That's like going to the bar for him. That's like going and hanging out at the comedy club. That's like us hanging out at the LOL open mic. That's his open mic, dude.
And I guess my issue is just because it just, to me, Marbach is not like hood to me. You know what I'm saying? And they're making my...
That's how fucking desensitized you are, motherfucker. That's not hood, like prison.
They're making my neighbor...
To me, when I was in prison, prison isn't really prison to me because, you know, I'm here so much. Like, yeah, it's hood, bro. Marbach is...
But it wasn't hood like that growing up.
Okay, I know. That doesn't mean that it didn't change. And when was... How old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, so growing up...
So growing up, going to like...
35 years ago...
We would take my clothes and donate them to like kids in Denver Heights that didn't have floors. And I thought, oh, wow.
That's poor.
That's the hood, man. And so I thought we were privileged living on Marbach.
There's different levels of hood privilege.
I didn't realize that Marbach was the hood until like I became an adult.
Bro, I see under that bridge right there, 410 in Marbach, dude. They're there. I go there
It's gotten better. It used to be worse.
I know. Well, they cleaned them out, but they were back this weekend. When I went, they had cleaned them out. They weren't there the last weekend, but this weekend they were there with a big old. They had a 3-bedroom. Fucking.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Yeah, they had a 3-bedroom fucking setup.
Literally.
There. Yes, literally, it was a 3-bedroom setup there. I saw, and I was like, man, that's pretty nice, dude. And,
literally, not even a joke.
Yeah, they were doing an episode of Cribs Hood Marbach edition, but. Yeah, it's bad.
It doesn't affect my mental health because
but let me
it bothers me, but I'm able to do something about it by organizing the cleanup.
So wait, you had a mental breakdown because you were so concerned with what other comedians were thinking about your comedy?
That too. I mean, I also hit my head really, really hard. And I was going blank on stage.
Okay, wait, can you elaborate a little bit more? What do you mean you hit your head really, really
I went
hard?
ice skating in Virginia and I fell back and hit my head. I had a big...
oh, that's right. You posted that picture of you with the fucking Cro-Magnon head.
Yeah, but I posted it once I realized I was healed. Once I knew I was healed...
Oh, dude, that's how Bob Saget died.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't tell nobody because I didn't want all y'all to treat me weird. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how long, for a while, I didn't know how long it was going to take.
I just thought you had a big, weird, ugly head, dude.
Bro, like, so I was going blank on stage. Lights were bothering me. I had stopped drinking.
Oh, you were concussed.
I stopped drinking. I even stopped smoking. I got more closer to God. You know, I've always been spiritual though. But
is that why you moved? He lives over there on that side of town, or what?
No, I just started giving my mind more. I started giving my mind more to the Most High.
Oh, okay.
I know you're gonna say something. No, but and then also, there's times where, and I'm gonna say it. I had to accept that I started looking at what other comedians were doing. Even like comedians that have not been doing it as long as me, that were like going viral, or they were getting
Ralph Barboza. You watched Ralph Barboza?
They were getting certain opportunities, and I wasn't.
What are they doing right?
It wasn't like I was jealous of them. I was happy for them because some of these people are my friends, but I was envying them. Like, oh damn, what? Damn,
you can. That's good. I'm envious of what they're doing.
I'm 15, 16 years in. I'm wasting my life. This is me working every weekend. I'm booked every weekend.
Second guessing the fuck out of yourself.
Not happy with what God's blessing me. I got a new house. You know what I mean? My kids are doing great in school. Yeah, like what's wrong with me? My career is a piece of shit. I was in a nasty depression state, but I had to like put myself into therapy, and I want to preach that as much as possible. Because you don't really know what people are going through. And then
you don't.
Also, there's a lot of people that are inspired what we do. They look at us and be like, wow, these guys, they're living their dream, or they
don't know the misery.
There's some people, they're not able, they want to be us, but they're not able to do what we're doing. They have to.
They can't even get that step. Yeah.
And so I didn't look at those things And also, we can't be weak because there's so many people that
depend on us
to be strong and funny. They don't go to therapy. They don't go to church. They come to comedy shows. And so, like, our jobs is just as important. So I have to have my mental health right so I can be able to deliver on stage. I was at a dark place last year.
But no, that's you said you moved out there to Marbach and
they're literally a dark place. There's no lights out there either.
Yeah, there was no floors, dude. All right, man. We're gonna have to wrap it up, man. My producer over there is fucking.
This was like a therapy session.
Yeah, man. Well, what you got in the future, man? What you got coming up?
This Saturday, which this episode won't probably be aired yet, but this Saturday, January 27th, I'm at Noble Lounge, but I'm gonna be there every month.
Where's that? In town, or where's it?
That is in Cibolo, Texas.
Okay.
Pretty much San Antonio. And let me give you all the dates that I am there. I will be there March 9th, April 26th, May 24th, and July 13th. If you're watching this on the replay of 2024, I finally made it on this podcast. Been trying to get on this podcast for several years.
I'm glad you finally made it, dude. Well, man, and I'll be we're at Cap City tonight, which this is, and then I'm at the LOL with Juan Villarreal, the 8th, February 8th, 9th, and 10th. One show Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. I'll be featuring for him there. It's going to be a dope-ass time. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. See you next time. Peace.
Chicka, chicka, yeah.